Well, hello, beauty. Welcome. Come on in. I always save you a spot. Welcome to my channel. This is the Daily Tap, otherwise known as Tap into Calm, and I don't know how many other titles I've given it over this past year, but it is your moment to step away from the noise, drop down out of your busy brain and into your body. See where you hold your stress and let some of that energy move. So we do this with the emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping. And all you need know is to follow me. Take responsibility for your well-being and then tap where I tap, say what I say, and see how you feel. And if you want to know more about the emotional freedom technique, what it is, how to do it, how it works, and some other fascinating things about it, go to my website, sandyevenson.com. The link is always in my description so that you can get there and get the free downloads on many videos about how to do it and what it is. And then also tapping for stress and anxiety, a short video as well, but how to use that and substitute any word that you need. And then also I've added a little bit longer one about how to truly see where all of that stress is in your body and bring in a tremendous amount of calm as you do. So today is designed to help you feel better regardless of what's going on in your life, because EFT will change your life the more frequently you do it, just like it has mine. Also, it is known, clinically proven, over 300 peer-reviewed studies to prove the efficacy of tapping to release stress, relieve your nervous system, and help your body heal itself and release emotional and physical pain and give you clarity, help you with anything that you're working on in any circumstance. And the beauty of it is you always have the tool right with you, and anyone, anywhere, at any time can perform tapping. So today we are also having an affirmation tapped in that's inspired by an oracle card. And today I was guided to Wisdom of the Oracle, COLETTE BARON-REID. And I was guided there. I was first asking about how we deal with these tumultuous times we're in. All around the world, we have so much going on, and it's so hard to deal with. And it can be at once making us frustrated or angry, resigned to not being able to do anything, but then also sadness and loss. And there's just so much all wrapped up in it because it feels so unfair. Regardless of what your beliefs and systems are, we are stressed. And so I wanted to ask, what is it we need to know about handling all of this upheaval and our emotional stress today for the greatest good and the best joy of all? And what we have is perfect. It's the observer. So notice this beautiful image, first of all, the observer. And if you just think about what an observer is, we become an observer in our own lives and we step away from the fray and we look and observe. I do this a lot in my coaching and teaching, where we learn to step away within ourselves and become an observer. You know, our higher self, our soul, is the observer. And we look at what the lower self, the ego, the shadow, has gotten us into and how it's always trying to protect us and how we might make that better, right? So I'm going to read the description and then we'll do some tapping. If you're new, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you will return. You'll get some benefit from this. I decided just today or yesterday, I don't know, my days are running into each other, that I'm going to start a series on that very topic of emotional fitness in tumultuous times, because we're in the midst of it, right? Okay, so the observer, another look, the observer. Perspective, objectivity, neutral observation from a distance. Most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin to do some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, the people, the culture, the environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. Now, there are other extended messages for relationships and prosperity, and I'll just touch on a little bit of it so we don't go too far, too long. Sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees in your way. Feelings can get all jumbled up, and often you hear one thing when a person says another. It can be like an echo or an unresolved past experience dubbed over your conversation. This is usually what happens. We have a reaction that comes from inside us that is truly our younger self who experienced something and you got triggered into it. So just learn that that's there and you can step back and step away. And so, take to higher ground, cultivate curiosity about what you observe in yourself and in others and in the landscape. Curiosity and wonder is such a gift. And then in the prosperity, it's an advantageous time for you to get some distance from what you're doing and see your work and your projects from different perspectives. The trick is to connect to the essence of your goals and aspirations while letting the form and timing be dictated by spirit. So, because we can get really attached to what we want and our goals, right? So, the whole idea is to step away, to step above, and to look further out, to get that perspective, because we do tend to get closed in. I have a whole exercise that is truly phenomenal about doing that, but just take that moment, take a breath, check in with your body first of all. When you saw this deck and you saw this card, did you get drawn into it and resonate with it, the image, and then the message that I read? Note that in the wisdom of the oracle that we affectionately call Woto, there's always the face of spirit somewhere in the card. And if you look really closely up there with the moon, the crescent moon and the stars is a face looking down on the beautiful fox looking up. It's just gorgeous. So breathe into that. Check in with your stress and anxiety or your fear or your anger or whatever is there, sadness. Where is it in your body? Where are you holding that tension, that constriction, that unease, discomfort, aches or pains? Where is it in your body? When I get triggered like quickly, it's always kind of taking a breath. But when it's been sitting there a while, it might go wholly down to my belly or my lower back or my shoulders. Where are you holding yours? Just notice that. Notice how intense it feels. And we're going to do some tapping and bring that down. Nice breath. And follow along with me here at the eyebrow. I have been tense and anxious. Side of the eye, sometimes really afraid. Under eye. but I am open to gaining a new perspective. Under nose, to stepping away, chin, to seeing things from a broader view. Collarbone. There are times when I do need distance. Underarm, to gain that perspective. Top of the head, and to understand from a more neutral vantage point. Eyebrow. I'm open to taking that stance now. Side of the eye. To stepping back. Under eye. To observe what's going on. Under nose. To take stock in my goals and observe that. Chin. To get that new perspective. Collarbones. As I take higher ground now and cultivate curiosity and wonder and become an observer. Third eye, so it is. Amen. This is what we're all being asked to do, I believe. That sometimes we can get kind of stuck. And if we could get out of that, how would we feel? And could we step back enough to see what else is there? To bring in what Spirit really has for us and to remember that we are co-creating our life with Spirit, or whatever word that you prefer, God, the universe, source, the force, whatever you want to use. It's there. It's that higher power, that higher self that is you, your soul, right there at your heart. Until the next time, remember that you are loved and I see your beauty. I see your light. Shine brightly.